ਸੋ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਟੈਲੀਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਦਰਸ਼ਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫੇਰ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੀ ਟੀਮ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਸੈਂਡਲਵੁੱਡ ਪਾਰਕਵੇ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜ਼ਿਟ ਫੈਸਿਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮੇਜਰ ਅਨਾਉਂਸਮੈਂਟ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟੋਨੀਅਨਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਮਸਟ ਕੰਗ੍ਰੈਚੁਲੇਟ ਮੈਡਮ ਮੇਅਰ ਫॉर ਯੂ ਟੂ ਟੇਕ ਅ ਲੀਡ ਔਨ that, because this is a historic announcement, because Brampton got the lion's share out of those 36 million. We got around $32 million today.
We got a lot of money, and this is a very good day, but it's been a very good week, I have to say. We've got double the gas tax money from the province of Ontario, and you saw today there were federal, provincial, and municipal partners all together talking about infrastructure, talking about how to build a better Brampton. This is unprecedented, not only in the amount, but having 3 levels of government working cooperatively together to help us build the kind of infrastructure my residents deserve, and which will attract more business, more jobs, and more infrastructure investments that the private sector will do.
Right. Transit has to be, there are some few key priorities behind transit. The growth of transit. It has to be accessible, it has to be affordable and available as well.
Yes.
And not forgetting whether it needs to be efficient and safer. So how is City of Brampton making initiatives on safety aspect? Because a lot of newcomers, a lot of new students, seniors, they are using our transits. Is there any precautions or any extra measures taken on the safety aspect of the passengers?
I can't think of anything specifically, but I would say that the more modern your facilities, the more you can provide updates. So one of the things we do on a regular basis is provide tweets every day about the service that's down, when the next bus will be coming. We try to provide timely digital information to our residents, because we understand that the time that you're traveling, if you miss a connection, it really ruins your day, and it makes you late for something else, and it takes time away from your family. So our goal here is to provide the best information, the most timely information, and I think we want feedback from the residents. So if there are people that see a route that we can improve on, we want your feedback, and we understand not everybody is socially media savvy. We have some older seniors that are on the rides, but we want them to talk to us and share with us how we can make that service better, how we can make it matter and be more meaningful for you. And certainly if you're a small business owner, a lot of businesses come to us and talk to us about wanting an additional route so that their staff get home when it's dark, when there's additional ridership, that we are prepared to modify our programs to make it safe for the women that are traveling late from a factory as well.
I'm glad you mentioned about tweets and the social media monitoring, but I was looking at the Brampton Transit Twitter account. It says they only monitor it between 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. When half of the population uses transit beyond that time, don't you see there needs to be some enhancement of that monitoring time?
I think that that's the official monitoring, but there's lots of monitoring that goes on throughout the day. A lot of us on council see those tweets, and we talk with our staff. There's somebody on duty all the time, so I can assure you that nothing gets missed that happens overnight. We want our system to be safe. We want it to be proactive. We want it to be nimble and be able to get a response to somebody if they have a question or if they have a concern. We want to know.
Okay. High-speed transit, makes any municipality grow and thrive, and it helps commoners, it helps residents, it helps businesses. Brampton has missed, the LRT, we all know, and recently there were reports that council is receiving a report to spend about $5 million on another EA, which will take 7-8 years to accomplish.
Yes.
Where are we? We are moving one step forward and 2 steps backward.
So the report will be at Council's Planning Committee next week, and it is a report by Council, for Council, by our planning staff, following the direction of the majority of Council with regards to looking at an alternative route. I don't agree. I think that spending $4 million on additional environmental assessments, to me, is a waste of money. We have to be a big city, we have to be cosmopolitan, we have to change the status quo, and when you don't like the answer, you don't just go and study it some more. You have to make the tough decisions. That's my job. My job as mayor is to provide a vision about where we should be going in the future. I still believe a direct route between GO stations makes the most sense. It's the most cost effective. It's the way to connect the other spines. If we weren't studying another couple of routes, again, imagine how much further we would be along on our high-speed routes along the Queen Street corridor. We could have brought in light rapid transit to our downtown and brought in bus rapid transit on Queen Street much sooner. So we're spending a lot of time studying issues, asking consultants to give us money, give us ideas for that money, but we're not making decisions. It's important for elected officials to get on with it, to make decisions, particularly when we have federal and provincial counterparts that are putting the dollars forward and assisting us. We need to not let it grind to a halt at the municipal level.
Talking about economy, you just delivered the State of the City address earlier this week, and you are back from a trade mission to UAE. You were in the Health Expo in Dubai. So tell us, share your experience. What went good for Brampton over there?
It was a very interesting trip. The moment you say you're a Canadian, people want to talk to you. They're really, really interested. We met people who were from Midland and people who had gone to U of T and people who were from Calgary, all over there. So there's a lot of expats that are coming over and doing business over there. I would say we went to talk about education. We went to talk about healthcare. And we talked to some hospitals, because we have a lot of private hospitals, about some relationship that we can do with them, whether it's research, whether it's training opportunities between Canada and the UAE. We talked about healthcare apps that may be used with our hospital and with theirs. Very interesting population in the United Emirates, particularly in Dubai. Very high incidence of diabetes, the same as Brampton. We have very similar problems. We both are looking for a solution. So I would say that we are talking about how we can align what they're doing from an academic perspective with our new university. We're going to be putting those two groups together because the province wants us to find a global partnership. So we were talking with an institution over in Dubai about possible partnerships, and we talked with healthcare institutions. So we went over with people from Sheridan College. We went over with people from the William Oster Health Services to find how we can link the services, how we can grow them, how we can do some opportunities for people who are traveling to UAE, seeing family, taking their healthcare records with them, and vice versa, so that if you're coming from the United Emirates, visiting family here or doing business, that your health records go back and forth. It happens all the time between William Oster and India. We want it to go between the United Emirates as well. So there's some great opportunities, and we'll find out in the coming weeks and months whether the seeds that we sowed bear fruit.
Wonderful. Well, you have been a transit champion, speaking out loud for Brampton. So we want to thank you for your leadership on different files. And we hope the council supports your, mandate and the vision you have.
Well, I think that I want the public to stay abreast of what's happening. I want them to pay attention. These are your tax dollars being spent on consultants and additional studies. I think it's a waste. I think it's time to roll up our shirt sleeves and do the heavy lifting that has to happen when you build transit. If you want a grown-up city, you have to do things differently. You have to stop doing things the old way. You have to break up the status quo and do things and disrupt it and do things that are brave and bold. Brampton is a big city, and we deserve big transit, whether you're in the taxi industry or whether you drive a truck. A lot of people in Brampton, logistics is their life. It's the reason Brampton has been so successful, because we have people working very hard in those industries, and I want to support them, I want to help them, and I want to give them as much time at home with their families as possible, but I also want them to be successful and helping bring good jobs to Brampton.
And thank you once again for your leadership, and we wish you all the best.